Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you are all right. I know I am. I've just been playing with these UEFN for the whole week, and let me turn off the music. Yeah. The presentation is already done, so. All right, and I have been playing with this UEFN for the whole week. And I was pleased in some cases, and I was very displeased in others. I'm guessing like we are going to have to make our voice heard, and by I mean ours, the side of Unreal Engine that we are accustomed, right? Unreal Engine 5 and all the good things and everything that comes with it. But the future is bright, and I'm thinking that they have their own idea on how this thing is going to work. But for now, it's a little bit different to what I was expecting. So let me give you like a fast forward retail, of these adventures with UEFN. So allegedly, it is 5.1.1. But it's not. It's like a stripped version of 5.1.1, a very stripped version, and it's not stripped down. It is simply 100% compatible, well, allegedly, to everything that is in Fortnite, nowadays. All right. So it's like Fortnite, for example, to give you a very easy example of what you might find. It will have support for virtual textures, but it won't have support for runtime virtual textures. And the thing is that you are going to be able to do dumb stuff like bring in a landscape with runtime virtual texturing into UEFN. And then you're not going to be able to turn off runtime virtual texturing from it because the thing is not exposed in the actor. And then you're going to have to go back to wherever you take that thing from and turn it off there and then bring it in. For example, another thing that might happen pretty often when you are, doing what I was doing this weekend, and that was, battle testing this thing, not, using it to create Fortnite Island or stuff like that. I wanted to bring realistic things, right? Photorealistic things from contents from Unreal Engine into UEFN and uploading that to the island and see how good it will look. With all the contrast, right, with the characters and everything from Fortnite, but at least knowing that everything was coming along together. So another thing that happened was blueprints. So it was silly. It was really an analogy would be like trying to discuss with someone that only saw half of the movie, and it is like, all right, I brought in some blueprints, and they are display as blueprints, as blueprint actor assets, and but when you open them up, then there is only the viewport, and there is the sorry for that. Let me turn off all my notifications. All right, there it is. Cool. All right. So you get to see the viewport, you get to see the component list, but then, then you ask, all right, show me the graph. And UEFN is going to be like, what graph? The graph where you program the blueprints? I don't know what it's talking about. And I was like, dude, really? Hello there. All right. So yeah, it's weird. And the thing is that there is not a guide for, like Unreal Engine, true Unreal Engine users, I don't know how it's called, the UEFN for Unreal Engine 5 users should be, a good tutorial nowadays. I'm not going to do it by any means, but it's a thing that I'm struggling with, at this time, because, there are a bunch of things that you can make work from Unreal Engine 5 to UEFN, but the ones that doesn't work are not anywhere to be seen. And So the big thing that we're going to be commenting today, and this is just to open up the real practice part of this live stream, is Valkyrie. And Valkyrie is a system, is a filter, is a program that is in charge of every time you upload thing from your UEFN to your Fortnite island. So and this has nothing to do with Perforce, and it has nothing to do with the source control. This is you just transactioning your island from your UEFN to the Fortnite servers, right? And there are a bunch of rules about that, of size and stuff, but there is this program called Valkyrie who is going to run through everything that you're trying to push into your island, and it's going to start, discovering and flagging and, not allowing you in many cases to upload your stuff up, simply because, there are, things that won't work, things that are disallowed, and those were the ones that really almost brought me to tears, to tell you the truth, because there are some things that are, very clear. There are going to be a bunch of things that Valkyrie is bound to catch, like for example the RVTs, like every asset that is not, supported by UEFN, you're not going to be able to upload it, all right, to your island. And the thing is that it will upload everything, every actor that is in your level, but also every asset that is in your content browser, because it needs to cook everything right in, to make sure that you're not spawning a thing that is not going to be, cooked and whatever. But the main thing is that there are a bunch of things that will tell you, all right, this HDRI is disallowed, and you're not going to be able to upload that thing. And you're like, but why? It's an HDRI. It's like, but yeah. So that's that. 3D connection controller plugin to work with UEFN. Well, yeah. I mean, they're opening up, as we talk. Like, I found out. Let me jump, maybe. Give me just a second, and I will show a couple of things. So right now we are at the forums, and you're going to see that the most view post is not the most. All right. It took me. Give me just a second. All right, here it is. Yeah, project is not valid. This is the thing that will happen. But if you really? All right, wait a second. Let me get that thing. Yep. UEFN. Am I logged in? I am logged in. Why cannot? All right, maybe with this one. All right, I don't know why I cannot filter, the forums, general announcement. All right, whatever. So, like the most viewed post in the last few weeks is I cannot upload my island to Fortnite. And that was like a big thing. And everybody and his mother, like, I have this thing, I have another thing, and I have another thing. And the thing is that what you just said there, that you make your plugin work, did you make it work on the island, or did you make it work only in UEFN? Because that's a big different thing. UEFN will lie to you. UEFN will take things from Real Engine 5 and will show them preciously in the editor. But the troubles arise when you try to upload that thing to the island. And then Valkyrie is going to fire up, and it's going to tell you that there are a bunch of things. So what I think is that you're going to see very soon. Let me start maybe turning on UEFN so I can showcase that also to you. You're going to see that, inside UEFN, you have your content, and you have a Fortnite content, and then you have like an engine content. It's not an engine content. It's called Epic Game, or Epic Game content. And that one is pretty slim. It has a couple of, geometries in it, and not much, right? And I believe nothing that is outside those 3 folders can be uploaded successfully. So you're going to see very soon that let me go piece by piece, because we are going to get there pretty soon, and I'm going to show you, what is missing, to upload and what is good to upload. But for now, let's talk about this thing right here. First of all, this thing baffles me completely. This has a March, it has a 17 days. It was on March 10, really? Oh my God. You are kicking me out of everything that I tried to see from. All right. That was not good. Give me just a second and I will fix it. Wait a second. Huh. What is wrong with you? And you, give me just a second. Here it is. All right, there it is. Cool. So we're back. All right. So this thing here is was posted 17 days ago, and it says, "All right, yeah, people, we are in UEFN version 24." And I was like, "What?" I know that there were a few people who were, permitted to download it and use it under maybe a non-disclosure agreement or something like that. But yeah, there are, talking here about Valkyrie and saying that yes, we're going to need Valkyrie to, to safeguard everybody from uploading the wrong stuff in many ways, like maybe wrong stuff in terms of moderation and wrong stuff in terms of stuff that should not be running inside Fortnite. So it should technically, and with a little bit of moderation, tell you, all right, this thing won't work in Fortnite, all right? And that is good. And they're talking here about many different things that were not working, even things that were in Fortnite. Like the first time I tried, we created a template island in UEFN, and we tried to upload it, and we couldn't. Like there were some sort of tree that was doing some silly thing, and I followed this whole thing. It has like how to address the issue, and it will give you like a couple of different ways to solve stuff. None work. Like the only one that did work is like, all right, whatever is not working, delete it. And so we had to delete every tree from that template to be able to upload it, which is silly because those are Fortnite stuff. But again, they are talking here about, there are, give me just a second. There it is. All right. So, oh my God, I'm looking pretty awful here, maybe. So I should, let me check out, going to the camera. Oh, I'm looking fine here. Huh, but not here. All right, give me just a second. I will. Yeah, this thing is working, but not working. All right, so I'm going to take me out of here. Give me just a second. Yeah, this is going to be much better. That's good. All right. So, back to what I was saying. Let me go back here. All right. So, the thing is that there may be things that are from actually Fortnite that is simply not working because maybe it is a bit old. There are a couple of plugins that may not have, upgraded to this version of UEFN and whatever. Yeah, there are a couple of things that even from Fortnite won't work. And yeah, so this is where I discovered that there is this thing called Valkyrie, and that it will make our life miserable for a couple of days until they relax it a little bit, or we start to get used to not upload like everything that we thought that we could upload. Well, that being said, maybe we should now jump to the UEFN, and here it is. And as you see, I have a couple of projects here, but again, there is another issue, and they're working on it, and that is that if you deleted any project, there are still here. So there are a couple here that I deleted, but they are still here, and UEFN is none the wise to find out that you simply delete something, because I deleted from my disk because they were a mess, and I was trying to do a bunch of things that didn't work, and I to start over was a lot easier. So I delete the thing, and now there are like ghosts here that I cannot simply delete. But so we had a question at the beginning, and someone was saying, like, how do I publish my game? Well, that is pretty easy. Let me see if I can do it from here. No. So I need to open up anything. So I'm going to open up this one, a very easy one to open that should open really fast. One of the first tests that I did. So there is web page, right? That is going to be where you're going to have to register, and you're going to have to create a team, and then you're going to have to assign people to that team and assign project to that team. And once you have everything covered there, you are going to be able to also publish, right, whatever you created. And that might be, a complete different thing, in terms of requirements and stuff that will be allowed and stuff that won't be allowed. But if you want to know, if you go here to projects, you're going to see that there is this creator portal. And as soon as you get there, it will ask you to log in, right? And these should be pretty fast. All right, so that's it. I'm logged in. The first time that you should log in with your Epic account, right? And it will ask you to merge your Epic account with the Fortnite creator portal, and it will ask you for a proof of that you are not a minor, right? And then you're going to be all set up. Then you need to create your team, and you're going to have projects also. Like every project that you have created in UEFN is going to be here, right? Funnily enough, the ones that I deleted are not here, just the ones that are active. So that's good. So for example, this my project here, and you can see that it is unpublished. And so here, as soon as you click here, is where the thing will start to publish it, and you're going to be encountering some moderation, filtering, and stuff, maybe even gameplay stuff. Like, I don't know if anything is going to be suitable, right, for what they want out of UEFN. So if you ask me what is going to be viable right now, there are three different, and let me maybe turn on Fortnite so you can see them. There are three examples that Epic created, or someone created for Epic, that you can check out in Fortnite. And one is like a cinematic, not very violent, type of things where you are, running through a beautiful world, and you're encountering, a couple of things. You solve a couple of puzzles, and then you're going to have like a last fight with a boss, and that's it, right? Then you have one that is, pretty cinematic. There is no violence in it. So yeah, it's not like a multiplayer game or something like that. And then there is a multiplayer game when you can, shoot out with other people, and that's good. So I'm guessing those three are going to be like the example to follow on. One is going to be what is going to be safe to publish, right, to your island. Apart from publishing, you can, test in a Fortnite server your stuff. And this is what we're going to be, mostly focusing today in this broadcast. And so once you have this and you are sure, right, that you have something, and one thing that I'm going to mention that I have learned, I'm going to start with the tips and tricks. And that's that if you're going to be running Unreal Engine 5 and you're going to be running UEFN and Fortnite at the same time, these two things are your friend. Like, lower your scalability, go unlit, and turn off real time in your editors because you simply won't need it, right? You just need to see this thing once you launch your session, to check out how everything looks. You can, at some point turn it on and see, that everything looks good, but then you're bound to, turn that off for sure. Another thing that might be important, and this is by default, if you go to your editor preferences in UEFN, you're going to have the, where is it? All settings. Let me search for background. There it is. Use less CPU when in background. Like normal people, when work with Unreal Engine 5 and you're working with things like VCam and stuff like that, you always turn that off. But in this case, it's very important to turn that on because you're going to be running different instances of the engine running, and you want the thing to you want your video card to survive. So this is very important. So you must also turn this on for your Unreal, at least for now, if you're going to be doing tests and stuff like that. So that being said, let's say that I created this very easy island, right? This is a project that I want to work with plenty of people. This is going to be like the test of many people's working at the same time, and so inscriptions are open for this thing. So if you right now, you don't have to send me anything, right? I just want to know if you're interested, and I'm talking to you, anyone who is hearing, if you really want to take part of this experiment, and you prove to be because there's a thing about griefing that is going to be 100% possible between collaborators. We just we tested on the weekend. So yeah, you must be a friend or a friend of a friend that we know, that you're not going to destroy everybody's work in one night. Either way, we're going to have the revision control, but no one wants to lose work, right? So that's my second tip. If you're going to be collaborating with people, do know that you can grieve others people's work, or you can delete the whole thing if you want, right? You are going to be able to lock your stuff if you select everything and you right click and go to revision control and you check out everything. So that way people are not going to be able to edit your stuff. But yeah, it's not like a great way, right, of protecting your stuff. So my tip and trick of the day is, or another tip and trick of the day is don't collaborate with people that you don't know, because you might lose everything in your island. It's a complete possibility. So yeah, there are not good permissions to do that kind of things. So there are, when you invite friends to your team, you're going to be able to assign like different roles. I have not tested them, but they're not, big deals. It's like administrator, publisher, and collaborator, and owner, right? So I don't know if something, a different role can prevent people from grieving the whole project. But it is a possibility, and be aware of it. Sometimes even things explode inside the editor and will damage things in the editor, not at gameplay, I mean in the editor. So yeah, be careful with those. Like I was testing some zip lines and I put the zip line too close to a place, and the character got interpenetrated with a wall and the whole thing exploded in editor, not at play, and everything was damaged. So I had to go and choose whatever got broken, and then refresh it. So get it back as it was, from the revision control. But yeah, so that's that. And what else did I learn? Well, I learned that it's a lot easier to have a Fortnite instance always open at full screen and everything. So it's like turning on Fortnite on its own, right? And then have your UEFN also on its own, because there are two ways of launching your session. One of the ways is going to be launch on this PC, and that will open like a mini You can change, the actual resolution of the thing, but by default, it will start like a mini Fortnite here in the center. And then again, that thing will be disconnecting if every time that you maybe Real Engine UEFN crashes, and you're going to have to again launch it. So this way, connect to platform is like the way to go, because that means that there are separate things. So your Fortnite is not going to be dependent on this thing. You have a Fortnite instance running here, and as soon as you set it to connect to platform, and as soon as you hit launch session, it will detect that you have a Fortnite session running with your account, and it will connect to this island. All right. So let me read a little bit of the comments, because I see that there are a lot. So what we have here, not to distract from the subject, but I can't get over Gabriel's fancy video window. Oh yeah, I don't know. I live with a huge window that I cannot put like a curtain on it, and sun comes and goes, and sometimes the chroma will work and sometimes the chroma won't work, or I will look like a cocoon, alien, very bright and sometimes very dark. So yeah, it's the type of camera that I bought. It's a good camera because it works, wonderful in a very low light, but it doesn't have like a auto exposure stuff. But yeah, it is what it is for now. But yeah, thank you, Diana. All right, so not working anywhere. I don't know if that is a question. Oh, not working anywhere. Oh, I can't make my 3D connector controller plugin. I thought I misread that you could, but yeah, that may have to wait. We are having issues uploading to the island stuff from Fortnite. Third-party plugins may take a whole while to make that work. So it's great, isn't it? All right. So it's like this stripped version of the engine protected somehow. It's very, very protected, because again, the main thing here is that everything that you can do with this thing will be published to Fortnite and nowhere else. All right. And Fortnite, like the main thing about it is that it runs everywhere, right? Like it has the distinction of of running multi-platform and running in mobile and in Mac and any sort of platform, and with many different hardwares. And Lumen being this thing that runs in software, so you don't have to use a video card with RTX on it to run. It's like another hint, right, saying you that yeah, that this thing is very well curated, and sometimes not only curated, but also overly optimized. So yeah, I was talking about this project here, and what I want out of it is to many people to contribute at the same time. We're going to have up to 16 people, I'm guessing. Yeah, this is 8, this is 16, no, it's 20. Right, so we're going to be able to work with 20 people. But now that I think of, the city hall is going to be occupying one place. Then there is Franco, there is me, there is Bardos, and that leaves only 16 more people. I know that there are a couple of people from the fellowship that wants in, so I'm guessing like from the GUM community, we're going to have a couple of spaces. I don't know if 5 or so. So yeah, if you're interested, just let me know, and yeah, sure, let's make this thing work. All right. So, oh my God, this is such a shame because, all right, it's all right. Never mind. Let's go back here and yeah, continue to load. And we are going to open up a new hope. And this is what I wanted to showcase today, like bringing stuff from Unreal Engine 5, from a good content from Unreal Engine 5. And so, this is a free content from Unreal Engine, and I made it work here you know, learning on the way what can be done and what is going to be an issue. So let me just showcase this thing and so you can see it. So I'm going to go lead here so you can watch how this thing looks. And here it is. So I wonder how many of you will recognize this. This is a pretty old set. It was made, I'm guessing, for games because it still has, it is not like photogrammetry stuff, but still is like a very, very nice thing. Like all the textures are very well done. And the materials has, a very good quality. Like the anisotropy of this thing looks very good. And yeah, this is UEFN. And I was able to bring everything, here inside UEFN and publish to a to an island. And I'm going to show you that right now because I also did a little bit of let me check that. Yeah, it's in Connect platform. I did a little bit of gameplay because I do want these to be like the first, my first contribution, so I can show you from the start, from creating your project, even from creating, your stuff, your team, and your and assigning the project to the team, and then being able to set up your vision control and everything, so everything works, up to the point where you can bring stuff right from the content. Because again, this fab thing might be a thing in the future, but it's not the best quality. Like whatever you can get from fab right now, and I'm telling you this right now, is not amazingly good. Like textures are very pretty low, and again, if you search here in fab, it will come to tell you the truth like right away. It will tell you like everything that you can find here is optimized for Fortnite vertex materials and textures budget. That tells a lot. That means that you can see this thing here and you may think that it looks amazingly good, but it will not. It will have, a very low quantity of vertex, a very low polygon count, and a very low resolution textures, right? And for photogrammetry things, that is never a good thing, right? Because things are start looking mushy and start looking like very like soft, like not a punchy, or neat, sharp, texture on the thing. Right, so my session is connected. So now if I go to Fortnite, you can see that I am right here. So, and let me fly around so you can check this thing. So as you see, I created a little bit of gameplay, just a little bit. And they're not working pretty well, let me tell you right now, because, these guards love to have like open spaces. They don't work well when they are, in these little spaces. So I do need to learn how to work with them. So yeah, and in the end, we're going to have like a big fight here that should be epic with explosions and stuff and a little bit of a cinematic when you, flee and get out this way. So if you want to check out how this looks, let me go to this side and hit start game. And that should prompt game starting inside of Fortnite. And that's it. So we start in this small room right here. And we can pick up this gun, and we can arm ourselves, and we can open this door, and there's going to be a guard there. And for some reason, that's the only movement that he does. He feels a little bit like trapped there. He doesn't, runs around too much, but he's looking for us. And as soon as he sees us, he's going to start shooting. Like this is very low difficulty that I set up on these guys. So they die pretty easily. And that's it. When he dies, then you're going to be able to continue, right? And that's done with that thing right there that is a lock, and it will lock the door, which is good. And now you will have access to, health and a new weapon, right? For the next part of this thing, right? So now you can change your weapon and you can open this thing, and there are going to be more people. They're spawned ridiculously, like in a line. I don't know, this is something that I must try to fix And so I do have like a boss fight, like a little bit of a boss fight here. So he's going to be a little bit tougher, right, than the other guys. And he is also a little bit better at you know, at shooting. And that's it. The next thing that I try to do is to have some wolves running around here. So these should be like the next step. Should also have a door, and there it should have like a bunch of, I don't know, like aliens or something, or nature things that, you know, made a mess of this part. And here we'll have like another one, but a big one with a lot of things, with a lot of health. And lastly, you know, this is going to be like the final fight, a bunch of ads, a big boss that you need to, you know, finish up. And, you know, things are going to be crawling out of these places. I don't know. This is what I will try to do. I don't know what is going to come out of this thing. And when the last thing dies, you're going to have a little bit of a sequence, a cinematic sequence, you know, of you open the last door, looking back and seeing all the mayhem and the fire and the smoke and saying, all right, bye-bye, I'm out of here. And the door will close. And that would be my, you know, first experience, right, in UEFN and Fortnite. I'm hoping that I could finish this thing by this week, and this is going to be the freebie of this week. I want to make sure that I can upload this project somewhere so you can test it on your own, and you can also, you know, upload it to. So I want to have something that works, right, and that looks good. I mean, this looks good, to tell you the truth. This is not Fortnite by any length or extent. It is not working with photogrammetry, but still, this looks miles, you know. And again, it's not because Fortnite stuff is ugly. Fortnite stuff is stylized, right? And that's the way of doing art. But I want to take these, you know, to the next level, right? And little do you know, or you can see it here, there is a little bit of interpenetration from, you know, some door somewhere. I'm guessing it's this one. So these are Fortnite doors, right? So I do have doors for this thing, but I want to know, you know, I need to do a device out of it, and I want to start programming in verse and make them work. So yeah, that is the plan, and this is how far I have gone into this thing. So one thing, another tip that I really want to impress on yourself is when you bring this kind of stuff, the first thing that is going to happen is that your project size is going to be, you know, out of a roof, like very high. And in my case was because this particular content had like a bunch of 4K textures, and if you run into something like that, all you need to do is, you know, use your texture filter, and you can go settings, and you can go columns. And when you go columns, this thing converts itself into, this is not only on UEFN, this is in Unreal Engine at large. But then you have like a disk size, right? And you can search, you know, the disk size of all of your textures. And if you are in any doubt if this thing is going to run well, all you need to do is right click on whatever big texture that you have, and the first, you know, option up here says resize texture import data. And what this is going to do is to, you know, create a texture and re-import it with half of the pixels, which is great. It's like a very easy way of, you know, fixing up the fact that you already spent a bunch of time bringing this in, and when you try to push it up to the island, the thing will tell you like, this is too big, I cannot do this upload. So yeah, that is another good tip. And lastly, let me tell you a couple of things. So you can at any point select a bunch of things, and you can right click on them and you can validate them. So it will do the exact validation. And where is that thing? It should be validate. Where is it? Is it when you do a right click on a folder, maybe? Huh. Now I forgot what I where I saw that thing, or maybe it's here. Huh? No. It is it a tool maybe. All right, I will get it for next time. But I've found a way to select something from your. Let me see if I go back to tiles, and I select a couple of these things, and I right click. There should be asset action. Nope. Right. So I can't remember what I did it. Maybe it's not just for textures. Let me try an actual mesh and see if this one has a way to validate it. All right. Now I can't remember where I saw that thing. Oh, here it is. Validate asset. So this will tell you, right? So this asset, all the let me go again so you can get it. So if you get an asset, and in this case it's a skeletal mesh, you right click on it and you go to asset actions, and down here you should have the validate asset, and you can also validate asset and dependencies. So whenever you bring stuff into UEFN, be sure that you validate everything, and you are because you don't want to be losing a bunch of work, right? So last thing that I'm going to say today before we end up this second part of this thing is what things I know that are not working. So if you bring into UEFN a project, right, from Unreal Engine, so this one is this one right here. If you want to get it and test it right now, this will be part of zip that I'm going to upload somewhere, so you can download it using UEFN. That I know that is something that looks good, and you can upload to your Fortnite island. And in the near future, once I test everything that I can publish it, you are going to be able to publish it, right? So what I might not set in is everything the gameplay, just because I don't know if that is going to be possible to export as a project, right? But time will tell. So if you want to know where I got that one, you're going to go to Unreal Engine, and God bless you, launcher. I know that you're doing what you can. And this one is sci-fi. No, sci-fi is like this. So is this one the season 1? There are 2 seasons of this one. And I believe, now that I think of, yeah, because this is not a free for the month. This is a free forever, and it's part of the Unreal Engine free collection, right? So let me go rapidly to the marketplace. I know, launcher, that you're trying, and I appreciate you for that. There it is. Permanently free collection. And if you go a little bit low, let me put this 100, maybe 60. It's not so far. It's not so far down. Downtown. So I was searching and saying, all right, what could be good, right, to set up. And I thought of this one. Is this one, the modular sci-fi season 2 starter pack. So this is the one, starter bundle. So if you want to download this one, I know that this one will work. What will not work? All right. First of all, no blueprints will work. At least if you have something in a blueprint that has some logic, it won't work. And if you already bought it to UEFN, you're not going to be able to delete the logic. So if you want the nice door, right, and you want it as a group, as an actor that is grouping a bunch of things with different pivots, so you have a working door, that you maybe can animate inside UEFN, you are going to have to get rid of all the logic and then bring it in, because you're not going to be able to delete the logic from inside here. Real-time virtual textures won't work. So if you're going to bring in some sort of landscape, you better remove all the RVT's assets and actors and every dependency of real-time virtual texturings from all the materials, all right? So that's another thing. Another thing that won't work is if you have skylights or the exponential fog won't work also. So you need to delete all those. And again, Valkyrie is not going to be clear when you try to upload things. So it will, it will say in the output log a bunch of things like some sort, scripts and stuff like that. And so you will have to start, deleting stuff. Another thing pretty weird that doesn't work is cascade particles. So if your project has some sort of cascade particles that are not present in UEFN, Niagara particles on the other hand will work. And lastly, what was the other thing that was not working? All right, yeah, foliage assets. Any type of foliage asset that was used to do some sort of foliage tool or procedural foliage won't work, and it will be like completely alien to UEFN. It will be like a invalid asset, right? Not even UEFN will understand what that asset is. So again, every time you bring stuff, from scratch, you are bound to have, those issues. All right. I would love to have more time, to explain this thing from the start, but I want to take it, to a final stage that I know that, everything is working, so we can simply, know that the full thing works, right? So very soon I'm going to be at that stage, and then we're going to go through everything, how you can, download this thing and make it work on your side. But yeah, for now, I want to tell you, I think I didn't left anything on the plate. Like mostly everything that I learned this weekend was, again, trying to get things from Unreal Engine. Well, yeah, like the last thing that I can say is don't try to cheat and grab stuff from the content of Unreal Engine 5 project, even though it should be, and this is a must, it should be a 5.11 project, right? To be able to, migrate, right? But if you try to copy the thing from one content folder to the content folder of your UEFN project, that won't work. Like UEFN will laugh at that probability. So you will have to actually migrate stuff, right? And that will make everything fully workable on the other side, whatever works, right? So yeah, that is the whole thing. And I'm guessing like I already stole a bunch of time from you. Let me just check the comments. So soon we will receive an update from Epic to UEFN for fixing the replication consumption in memory. The replicating consumption of memory. Yeah, I guess so. Like they should have, because there's going to be like two memories. There's going to be the actual disk side or the physical footprint of your project as an island, and there is also the thing of the memory running in a low-end computer, right? So sure. And yeah, they should at some point, because now they open up the Pandora's box and you're going to be able to bring stuff from even not from a curated size as Fab. Because I'm guessing when things from the Quixel library are present in Fab, you're going to be able to have like the Fortnite version of this thing. But again, it might not be the Fortnite version. It might be, the full version. So at some point, Fortnite will have like, all right, this island will work on any computer and this other island won't work, anywhere. I know, for example, this one will not work on an average Fortnite machine, right? If someone is using, Fortnite without an video card or something like that, maybe moving this amount of detail and pixels might not be possible, right? So, Ed, hey, I know this guy. What's up, Gabriel? I'm so excited about UEFN. I'm also, sure. Don't have time to dive in at the moment, but glad you are teaching it. Well, I'm work around it mainly. And all right, so yeah, it's optimization. Yeah, the word of the day is optimization. Um, there are going to be, again, just as a refresher, there are going to be things that we know that don't work, and there are going to be things where we will actively need to reduce the complexity of the things that we can bring in from Unreal Engine 5. So just to show you, like, the first thing that I tried to bring in, sorry, not that, this. So the first thing that I tried to bring in, you're going to laugh. Like, I tried to bring in, it was a far fetch, but I tried the old, the old West learning. Like, I was like, all right, this is going to be a fun map to shoot each other, and yeah, I wasn't able. Like, first thing was the landscape. It has RVTs like everywhere. I managed to remove all RVTs, and I had a working landscape inside UEFN with everything, textures and foliage and everything was working. And then I was like, all right, now the only thing I need to do is to bring all the other stuff. And yeah, that's where everything went, to the dogs, because the thing was so big. It's not amazingly big. It's like a small, really. So I reduced all the textures and still, wasn't able to launch. And I started, taking out stuff and still wasn't able to launch. So these will need like a lot of thought on, what is going to be important and what is going to, to have to be left out to make it work. So this is going to be more of a long-term project. I want to make this one work, the one that I already have working, upon a point where we can, go in and play as a solo experience in Fortnite. And then I will embark on making that one work, maybe for a multiplayer type of map with realistic, stuff around, not just stylized Fortnite assets. All right. So with that, I want to ask you to be good and to let me see if there is one more question. Nope. So that's it. So I want you all to be good and remember that I love you all and that I will be catching you on the next one. All right. Hopefully tomorrow is Animation Tuesday. So we're going to be with Elena again. I know you guys love Elena. So we're going to continue talking about just animation, no more UEFN. For the time, we're going to return to UEFN on Friday when we do UEFN Friday with Franco, and maybe Bardos is going to be with us, and we're going to start, collaborating in UEFN. All right. So see you soon. Bye.